Draw a shaded portrait. How to draw shaded pictures from photographs. You can do it. This is module number 5, the final lesson in your basic drawing course. In this module, you will learn to make an actual shaded portrait. We will approach this assignment from 2 different perspectives. First, shading and modeling the human face, and second, making it appear alive. Many of my students have moved on to become experts in pencil portraiture and have actually made a business out of this art career. You will be well on your way yourself after mastering this module, and also have the pleasure of drawing friends, family, and others as valuable gifts. Everyone loves a good pencil portrait. Your art materials. You will need the following art supplies to do this lesson. Artist's sketch pad, 9 inches by 12 inches. Graphite drawing pencils, 2B, HB, 6B. Ballpoint pen, medium point, red ink. Paper stump, medium size. Artist's kneaded eraser. Roll of transparent tape. Mechanical pencil, number 2 lead. Ebony jet black pencil, number 14420. To start, copy and print the photo of the model on page 4, the following page as shown. Your first drawing exercise. Make a shaded rendering of this model. Turn the paper over and color the entire back surface. Use a number 6B pencil. 6B is a soft, dark lead. The soft 6B lead will work well in the next step of this process. Turn your photocopy back over and tape it to a blank page in your sketchbook with 2 little hinges as shown below. The hinges will allow you to flip the photocopy up and down to check your progress while tracing without slipping out of register. With your ballpoint, trace over the major lines on the photo. Trace the eyes, nose, lips, shape of the head, and the grain of the hair in proper position. Flip up the photocopy from time to time. Make sure you're getting everything. Press hard enough so the graphite transfers to your drawing surface without leaving grooves. Lift off the graphite-coated photocopy and you'll have a light outline of the picture transferred to your drawing surface. Use an H or HB lead pencil to make the lines heavier and easier to see. Be careful not to smear the delicate lines before they are reinforced with the overdrawing. Use a softer lead, a 2B, to gradually build up the light lines from your tracing and fill in the darker areas where deep shading will develop. Model the eyes and mouth. Draw graceful, sweeping lines to show the hair. Think in terms of volumes, not singular strands. Using your photo as a guide, fill in the dark areas to show where the deep shading will be. An HB lead will give you tighter control. Darken the pupils and color the irises. Leave a little white highlight in the eyes and on the lips. Make sure your pencil strokes follow the grain of the hair. Work up the drawing with feather strokes. Let the drawing begin to come alive. See how the light is handled in the eyes? Copy that. Lay a light, even middle tone over the entire line drawing. This gives the portrait a total base. Highlights will be made by lifting off graphite with your kneaded eraser. Darken the hair and develop the deep shades with your number 14420 jet black pencil. Leave the edges of the hair soft and make wisps of hair with your paper stump. The finished drawing, as mentioned on page 11, the soft wisps of hair are rendered with the paper stump. Use it to drag some of the graphite from the hair onto the drawing surface in graceful sweeps. Check out the notes on the following pages for additional pointers in rendering this picture. Notes on the mouth. Study the shape of the mouth in the reference photo. Trace the outlines of the lips and indication of the teeth. The mouth must look similar to this when the drawing is completed. Notes on the eyes. Use the photo of the model for reference. Note the shading above the eyes. Trace the eyes as shown. The irises are partly covered by the upper eyelids, pupils centered in the irises. When blending the lines, make the lashes heavier at the outside edges. Irises darker at the outside edges as well, with little pools of light below the pupils. Build up the modeling with light brush-like strokes. Study the photo to see which areas get a darker treatment and which do not. In the final stage, as mentioned on page 10, blend the shadows with your paper stump or your fingertip. Make the eyes look back at you. Notes on the nose. Study the nose in the reference photo. Notice the highlights and that the shading is mostly on the left because the main source of light is on the right. Trace the general shape. Note how the flare of the nostrils looks like inverted cups. Also, there is more shadow under the nose because light usually comes from above. When drawing the tip of the nose, notice it has a ball-like shape. Apply the shading to emphasize this roundness. Finally, build up the shape by modeling halftones with your 6B pencil. Use brush-like strokes. Where the light and dark areas are pretty much like the lights and shadows in the photograph, use your paper stump or fingertip. I prefer the stump myself to blend the tones and give your drawing a nice finished appearance. As you develop the shading, always use light, soft, delicate strokes and keep the tones even to avoid a mottled look. Think of your pencil point more like a brush. A final note. Congratulations on completing the basic course in shaded halftone rendering with pencils. Now that you have had practice with my method, trace and transfer, for making halftone shaded pencil works of art, your education has just begun. You will need to practice until your artist's eye and sense of what a finished shaded drawing should look like becomes fixed in your mind. And of course, until the deft manipulations of your hand and the use of your tools become second nature. Please bear in mind that as a registered student in one of my online drawing programs, you are entitled to a one-on-one personal lesson with me as your instructor. To schedule your personal coaching session, make and email a copy of your 5 completed shaded drawings to gusgraphics@msn.com. Put student schedule in the subject line, plus your name and the date. You will receive a reply with a list of open time slots. Select the time slots that will work best for you. Choose 3. I will confirm your schedule and we will talk together then. Now, press the top of the screen and print hard copies of these pages so that you'll have a working workbook to actually do the lessons. Thank you for your patronage, and I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.